Hi, I started working on a package called Lotus, and I want to give a quick demo what it is and how you can use it. So the motivation is that I basically wanted to have something like the RubyGem Blazor to run some basic business intelligence queries on my apps, and that I could easily mount on the Phoenix app. So Lotus is made of two packages. So Lotus, which has basically the backend, it has all of the logic and the schemas to save queries, and Lotus Web, which is the interface. So here I've got Lotus mounted on a local Phoenix app, and I've added it to the menu here on the left. So if I click on it, it drives me to the queries, to the landing page, where I've basically got a list of my stored queries. But let's start with a new query. I've got an editor where I can write SQL and then I can run it. So, for example, let's say that I want to count users and then I can run it, and I got the count here. So I've got two users on my local database. Let's say that I want to get like the most recent logins. And I forgot what's the name of the column. So I've got this little explorer or schema explorer that opens immediately on the database that I'm connected to. So right now I only have one, but I could have multiple, and the data explorer on the right will open on the repo or on the database that I have selected. So if I go down to the users table, I want to use this last login at, so last login at, and let's say now interval, say 7 days. And if I run it, I got a result. I've got a single user that has logged in the last 7 days. I've got all of the columns here. I can store this query so that I can run it later, or that other admin users can see the query. So basically go up, save, let's call it recent logins. I can give a description, for example, users logged in 7 days. If I go back to my queries list, we'll see it here with a description, the date when it was created. When I open, I can see that it auto runs. If I had a lot of results, I can collapse the editor to get a better, more focused look at my results. I can, if I want, I could basically change the name, change the description, or change the actual query and save it again, basically update it. So this also features syntax errors. So for example, if I run it like this, then down here I can see the error. It's read-only mode by default. So if I try to do something destructive, I get the error, only queries are allowed. Sometimes we also want some visibility rules, and by default, I cannot look into some internal PostgreSQL or SQLite tables. So for example, if I want to look at schema migrations, I'm not allowed. So relation schema migrations does not exist. Or if I want to hide something. So right now, for example, I have access to a table called API keys. Right, so I get the count, and if I open here my Explorer, I can see that the API key is accessible. So if I go to my config, and I've got this commented out, I can define table visibility rules. So in this case, I'm saying by default, I want to deny access to in this case, the public PostgreSQL schema, access to a table called API keys. I could define it as bare, so like this, and this means regardless of what schema, if there's a table called API keys, I will not have access to it. So if I restart my server, and then if I reload, so let's go to a new query again, select start from API keys, and when I run it, I can see it on here, error, query touches block table, public API keys, and the table is also no longer in my Schema Explorer. So this is early stage. There's still a lot of things that I want to improve. Visually, for example, here this is like code mirror defaults. Still have to basically change how this is, how these suggestions are given in code mirror. So we want to give obviously something from the actual schema of the tables. The backend is already prepared for smart variables. So right now the web interface is not, but I want to have something where I can define variables and then we'll have inputs so that users can, so that we can have these queries be more dynamic. And further down the line, maybe we'll add some charts as well. But yeah, I think it's already published because I think it already gives some value, and I hope to get some feedback. And if you feel that you want to contribute, I'm open to pull requests as well.